के शबाना आज़मी मौजूद हैं।
So sure about the answers.
But in terms of the roles, in terms of, do you, because you are a very strong, feisty lady, even in terms of your beliefs, in terms of your work outside the films also, does that also, do you say that I will not play a certain kind of role? Is there a decision, that you'd make? Because people often identify, or there's just some actions, some dialogues, some things that you will not want to do.
Yes, of course. There's so many films, particularly in the past, and if I feel that the film in any way is suggesting that a woman has a secondary role and she should accept the stereotypes that have been given for a long time, they're changing mercifully now, then yes, very clearly, that's something that would not attract me, and I have made choices because it's just something that's so against my very being. I'm the daughter of a poet who more than 75 years ago wrote a nazm called Aurat. Then he says, "Qadr ab tak teri taarikh ne jaani hi nahi, तुझ में शोले भी हैं बस अशफिशानी ही नहीं, तू हकीकत पे है दिलचस्प कहानी भी नहीं, तेरी हस्ती भी है एक चीज़ जवानी ही नहीं, अपनी तारीख का उन्वान बदलना है तुझे, उठ मेरी जान मेरे साथ ही चलना है तुझे." So that's the least that I can do.
तालियां हो जाए.
Is to honor that legacy.
Can I ask one question? Both you and your mother, in terms, your father was a poet, your husband's a poet. Did your mother give you any advice on, living with the poet?
Don't marry a poet. And of course, I didn't listen. So they have a beautiful way with words, and they'll win you over and woo you at any time, won't allow you to get angry because they'll use some khoobsurat sher. I fell headlong into it, and I'm very happy.
Is there any share that he's dedicated to you? Any of the poems that lyrics that we know so well? Any then that have been dedicated to you at home?
The thing is, it's a question that is asked of me all the time. People keep saying कि इतने romantic गाने लिखते हैं. He must be such a romantic person in life. And I say, he does not have a single romantic bone in his body. बिल्कुल भी नहीं. तो फिर I promise you, but then when somebody accuses him and they say that your wife says that there's no romantic bone in your body, तो वो कहते हैं भाई आप अगर सर्कस में काम करते हैं तो आप अपने घर में उल्टे थोड़ी लटकते रहते हैं ट्रेपीज आर्टिस्ट की तरह. So he gets away with that.
The shairi is for the films and on stage, exactly. Not at all. I was just going to ask you that, who's the bigger romantic at home, but you've given away the answer. I have to ask you though also, do you believe that cinema, entertainment has been and continues to be a way of making impact as well? You were just talking about your choices, what you said yes to, what you said no to. Do you believe that this is a medium that can make impact and does make impact?
I think all art has the ability to create a climate of sensitivity in which it is possible for change to occur. To say directly कि ये आपने देखी गांधी जी की फिल्म और कल से आप बिल्कुल गांधी जी की तरह बिहेव करने लगेंगे, वो सच्चाई नहीं है. मगर आपकी मिट्टी गीली हो जाती है, और जब आपकी मिट्टी गीली हो जाती है तो अंकुर तो फूटेगा ही.
वो जो दौर था और आज जो दौर है heroines के लिए, have you seen the kind of roles change, the approach of filmmakers as well change towards their leading ladies as opposed to just their leading men?
We've come a very long way. I mean, we came from a time when "main chup rahungi" was considered a virtue for a woman. And then we went through a spate where we hadn't quite decided who this woman should be. So she just became, first we had Rambos and she became Rambolina. So she was just doing the same thing. None of the complexity of what it was to be a woman ever got reflected. it was left to the parallel cinema to start exploring the woman in all her contradictions and not painting her as either Madonna or whore. That time, I think, has passed. I mean, there are still things that go back to it. But I think what has happened is we also have very young, very feisty, very educated girls who are no longer interested in only hanging around the man and playing his appendage. So that change, for me, I have always believed that for something to change dramatically in the consciousness of an audience, it has to be within the mainstream. क्योंकि आप parallel cinema में तो करते रहोगे, तो you're preaching to the already converted. तो अगर रॉकी और रानी की प्रेम कहानी में अगर आप देखते हैं आलिया भट्ट का जो रोल है and what a person she is in her right and all within the template of the mainstream cinema. So you have the songs, you have the dances, you entertain, you do everything, but you also carry a very strong social message. I think that's the way films can truly make an impact. Nothing which is preachy, nothing that you shout from the rooftops is going to create that. You have to be moved. And if you want to do propaganda, तो फिर आप pamphlets लगा दीजिए ना, आप जाके मोर्चे निकालिए, आप फिल्म क्यों बना रहे हैं? फिल्म तो एक मीडियम है, and unless you can justify the medium in which your message is being coached, how can you claim yourself to be a filmmaker? I'm very proud of that answer. तो आप लोग थोड़ी ताली बजा सकते थे वैसे इस पे.
I know, थोड़ी नहीं बहुत सारी तालियां.
नहीं मगर सचमुच सच्चाई से भी बोला और उसमें मुझे लगता है कि
बात. That's an impactful answer, but a very honest answer as well.
In fact, Uday is the OTT generation. लेकिन I am, I have Arth and Masoom is my generation, which places me. Aaj, if you were to make a movie like that, would you be the silent, suffering wife? Would you beg your husband to stay back? If you were